You. We are supposed to trace the component of Dharma in yoga. How many of you have taken clue from a sutra of Patanjali? Yoganganushthanat ashuddhikshaye jnanadiptir vivekakhyateh yamaniyam pranayam pratyahar dharana dhyana samadhayo ashtavangani. But why he refers to Yoganga Anushtanat? Now, Anusthana cannot be rendered into any other language. Word Anusthana is only available in vernacular and Sanskrit. So where does that Anushthan come? Anushthan. Anusthana has ethos, cultural background, and we don't take cognizance of it. What is our Yoganga practice? I will practice yamas, niyamas to the extent possible. I will practice asanas, pranayam to the extent possible, or dharana, dhyan, meditation to the extent possible. I will practice them as I am instructed, as the teachers have instructed. According to instructions, I will practice yama, niyam, asan, pranayam. So this is how we are going about today. And that's why we fail to take cognizance of the very term used by Patanjali. Yoganga Anusthana is the word. And this Anusthana has something to do very much with Dharma. Therefore, traditionally, conventionally, the set of Astanga Yoga which comes in Yoga Sutras, you know how many sutras are dedicated to Astanga Yoga? The sutra comes 228. Yoganga Anusthana is 228. Up to the end of the chapter, you get pratyahar. And beginning of the third chapter, you get dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So Astanga Yoga has been handled. So 228 to 255. How many sutras? Plus 3 sutras of the Vibhuti-pad. So many sutras are allocated to Astanga Yoga. Now that part conventionally is called Dharmaniti Mimamsa. So if you have read the book, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and if you have read the book from Humanics, so Indian philosophical system is based on certain columns. There is a structure. So to be in brief, epistemology, process of knowledge; psychology, function of mind; then you have metaphysics, teleology, theology, ontology. So these are all metaphysical subjects. And ethico-religious practices. Now this is imperative to Indian philosophical system, that it must mention, it just cannot divulge philosophy, it will have to mention how to attain truth. It doesn't just postulate truth, it must mention the process to reach the truth, the process to be in truth, process to realize the truth, and process to be in truth. So set of practices has to be mentioned, and that comes in every philosophical system as to what one should do after realities are divulged. So that's called Dharma Niti Mimamsa. It's called Dharma Niti Mimamsa. So therefore, Patanjali himself has expressly brought in Dharma in his scheme. So understand the classical source of Dharma which we are discussing today. We have been discussing last couple of sessions. Now, as I told you, Dharma is there for everything in this world. Living, non-living. The world is made up of living, non-living things. Everything has a Dharma. Don't mistake Dharma to Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Christianism, Islamism, Judaism. We are not speaking of that Dharma because that is how it comes to our mind. The moment we say Dharma, it should be either Hinduism or Islamism or Christianism or Buddhism or Jainism or Sikhism or Judaism. Whatever religions are today on the planet, we immediately relate Dharma to that. Now tell me, is this mat Hindu or Christian or Islam? So you will say there is no Dharma for it. No, that's not true. It has Dharma. That is called Guna Dharma. It is because of its Guna Dharma characteristics, it has certain usages. It is used for specific particular purpose or set of purposes because of what it is inherently, intrinsically. So this is a thing, it has a Guna Dharma. Suppose I strike a matchbox and I show you flame. It has different Dharma than the mat. This mat is meant to sit or lie down. The flame is not meant for you to sit and lie down. It has different functions. That is called Guna Dharma. So fire has Guna Dharma, water has Guna Dharma, air has Guna Dharma, any object has Guna Dharma, solid matter thing, gaseous matter thing, liquid matter thing, all the matters have some Guna Dharma, some characteristics, because of which they have a specific purpose. So nothing is bereft of Dharma. Whether it is living or non-living, Dharma is there. So Dharma is a different concept. Don't try to interpret it with English language. You will never be able to get to it. I am talking to you in English and you want to understand it in English. This is the travesty of our times. If I don't talk to you in English, many of you don't understand. Now, all those natural things, they don't depart from their guna dharma. It doesn't happen, the mat is now mat. After some time it is flame, or after some time it is water. It doesn't happen to this. It is always mat. Fire is always fire. Water is always fire. It is not that sometimes the water is water and sometimes water is not water. The water has certain characteristics. It adheres to it. It doesn't leave it. Air, water, fire, iron, steel, gold, coal, any matter you take, they will always abide in their characteristics. They won't depart from their characteristics. So the mat doesn't require a discourse, doesn't need a sermon. Hey mat, be all the time mat. Fire doesn't require a sermon. Hey fire, be all the time fire. So they do not need sermon. It is natural for them to be in Dharma. And therefore there is no advice to them, sermons to them. There is no law of the laws for conduct for the mat. It will always conduct itself as a mat. A bed will always conduct itself as a bed. Wood will always conduct itself as wood. It doesn't need any set of laws. But that is non-living. Come to living. For living things such as dog, cat, cow, buffalo, lion, tiger, they do not need laws for their conduct. Why? Because they always remain in their characteristics. Don't we come across a human being who is inhuman? How often? How often the human being is inhuman characteristics? More often, most often. Very rarely human being is inhuman being. So we can be inhuman. Have you come across a dog which is indoggish, a cow which is incowish, a fish which is infishious, elephant inelephantish? They never depart. So those are also living species. They don't depart from their characteristics or their essential nature. Tiger is always a tiger. It's not that tiger sometimes becomes a dog and tiger sometimes becomes a cow. Alligator sometimes becomes a lizard. It doesn't happen. So they have absolute credibility. You will always believe the dog is going to be dog. Whether that is day or night, January or May, 2023 or 1023 or 23 or 5023, the dog is going to be dog. Is that right? And therefore there are not laws for subhumans. The dog doesn't have its own criminal law system, social law system, nothing of the kind. They don't need it. They don't violate. The dog will never violate to be a dog. Cat will never violate being a cat and to be a cat. It will be always a cat. Cat is always a cat. Cow is always a cow. Mosquito is always a mosquito. They never depart. And that is why, with reference to them, there is a definition of dharma, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. If they are in their dharma, they are protected. If the cobra becomes cowish, it will be finished. If the tiger becomes cowish, tiger will be finished. The tiger will be always tiger. So its tigerness protects it. The dogness of the dog protects it. The catness of the cat protects it. So they do not need any protective schemes. Being they themselves, they protect themselves. The cat will protect itself by being a cat. Cobra will protect itself by being a cobra. It departs from cobra-ness, it will be finished. That is why one of the definitions, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. They always adhere to Dharma, their Dharma, they are saved. But about human being, very rarely human being is it humanish form, humanish nature. Form will not change. So merely having human form doesn't make you human beings. Merely having buffalo form, it's a buffalo. Merely having elephant form, it is elephant. Merely being tiger form, it is tiger. That's not the case of human beings. We have to become. Human beings have to become. They are not by birth. Just having 2 legs, 2 hands, 1 trunk and 1 head, human form doesn't make us human beings. We have to become. And that's why on Guru Purnima day I spoke about why human beings need a guru. We don't see a cat and cow and elephant and tiger going after guru. They don't go in search of guru, but most of us human beings, we want a guru. We need a mentor. We need a baker. We need a maker. Somebody will make us human beings. So the point is, human beings need the Dharmopadesham. Other than human beings, they don't need Dharmopadesham, Upadesha. They do not need Dharma Upadesha, but human beings do need Dharma Upadesha. The most intelligent creature on the planet needs Upadesha. The cattle and animals and birds and insects don't go to academies. A mosquito doesn't have to go to academy to become a mosquito. Cattle don't have to go to academies to become cattle. Reptiles don't have to go to academy to become reptiles. They are by nature. But we do need education. The most intelligent creature as declared by human beings. Nobody else has declared. Human being himself has declared, I am the most intelligent creature on the planet. But then that needs a maker. So dharma, advice of dharma is important. Practice of dharma, motivation to practice dharma is important. We don't naturally be in dharma. By merely knowing dharma, we don't be in dharma. There's a beautiful confession given by Duryodhana. He is actually not confessing, he is trying to be sarcastic. He says, Dharmam aham janami in Mahabharata. Dharmam aham janami nacha me pravrutti. Adharmam aham janami nacha me nivrutti. I know what is dharma, but I cannot be adhering to dharma. I know what is adharma. I cannot refrain from adharma. So generally this is taken as a statement of helplessness, haplessness. So merely knowing dharma, you don't stick to dharma. If you know what is manava dharma, it doesn't mean that you will practice manava dharma or human dharma. So it's not just knowing it. There is something beyond it. And therefore, dharma becomes very important for mankind generally, and it becomes particularly more important if somebody is in human endeavor of spirituality. If somebody is the spiritual endeavor, a human being, it becomes more important. So now try to understand this. Dharma is not ism. It is not ism. If at all it is ism, it is humanism. Not a cult. Not a cult. As it is in Abrahamic religion, somebody comes as a messenger, somebody comes as a head, and then gives you a sermon or gives a set of rules and book, etc. And then one adheres to the book follows the book. So, not such kind of ism, but it might be called as humanism, if you want to call it. Now, what is unique about human beings? We are also living beings. Mosquito, bug, ant, insect, worm, they are also living beings. What is common is the Atma in you and me, Atma in ant and mosquito and bug and tiniest microscopic life form. The Atma is identical, Atma is common. There is no difference between our Atma and their Atma. Don't think that each life form has a unique kind of Atma. That is not true, that's common. But the major difference is they are called Bhog Yoni and we are called Karma Yoni. Human being is called Karma Yoni. We have right to karma. So you know that the parents go on telling their children, don't behave this way, don't behave that way, this is not good behavior, that is good behavior. This doesn't happen in subhuman species. Mother tiger will never tell the cubs. Mother dog will never tell the puppies. Mother cat will never tell the kittens. They don't have to be telling, there is no way to tell, nothing to tell them. They will be naturally becoming what they are. Can you imagine a cobra coming and telling the baby cobra, don't be behaving like me, try to behave saintly, don't go on hissing, that comes around you. It doesn't do it. It cannot do it. It should not do it. Human beings need this. What is parentage? The parents tell the children, child, do this, don't do this. Never do this, always do this. Something of that kind is always there for human being. That is why human being can become and needs to become. So what is unique thing about the human embodiment and subhuman embodiment? Subhuman embodiment doesn't have a concept of right. As I said the other, either whether said last time, I don't know. If you have your pet cat, it will sneak into neighbor's house and consume milk. It doesn't think that, oh, that's not my house. I don't have right on the milk in that house. I have only right on the milk in my kitchen, our house kitchen. Nothing, no sense of right. A sense of right like human beings have. I have right on milk which is in my house. I don't have right on the milk that is in your house. I can't come and consume whatever milk you have in your house. The cat doesn't bother about it. So because we are given karma buddhi, we are given certain rights. Animals have a right to do anything that they want to do. It is cobra's right to bite you and me. It is cobra's right to bite a criminal person, scoundrel, and it is its right to bite even a saint. It doesn't discriminate, oh, this is saint, I should not bite, and this is a brute and this is a criminal person, I should bite. So it doesn't have sense of right. It's right to bite anything that comes in its way. It doesn't discriminate. Whereas human beings are given certain rights. And therefore, we have to handle the rights. We should understand the rights. and we should know how to use the rights. So if I have right on you, it doesn't mean I can knock your door anytime midnight. So maybe I have rights on you, but then it has all these aspects, nuances, when, where, how, time, space, situation. So generally I might have right. Not that you give me a power of attorney, you have right any time and on anything of mine. So you give some power of attorney for specific reason or general reason. So when it is on a general reason, then I have full rights on you. I don't have to give you any idea if it is general power of attorney. I have complete rights on what you have. But then we sometimes have this specific power of attorney. So we don't have rights for anything and everything. What are our rights? We need to be told how to handle the rights. Not anytime, anywhere, anyway. There is a protocol. There has to be a protocol for you to exercise your rights. If you have your rights genuinely. So we have sets of rights. We have sets of privileges. We have sets of duties. And we have sets of responsibilities. Have you come across, or will you imagine that any cattle or animal says, oh, this is my responsibility, therefore I am doing. This is my duty, therefore I am doing. It is not given the support system of the consciousness. Whereas we are given the support system to identify our rights and the way to handle rights, the place to handle rights. So also duties, what are our duties? When to carry out the duty? How to carry out the duty? So the protocol aspect is there to exercise the rights, to exercise the duties, there is a protocol. The cobras don't say we will not be biting at night. We will only bite you during day. It doesn't say like that. We don't bite you on Sundays, holiday for us. It doesn't do anything like that. Anytime, anywhere. Whereas for human beings, understand what is our responsibility being human beings. We should understand handling the rights, handling the duties, handling the privileges, and handling the responsibilities. Being human beings, we just can't have rights. We are also supposed to give rights. A father or mother have to give rights to their children in particular age. Is that not right? The child has grown up. The father and mother, they have to give rights to children. The children might be having their rights, but the parents also have to give rights. So parents' duties change for a child which is only infant, 1 or 2 or 3 years of age. What are the duties of parents for the child which is 1 to 3 years of age? What are the duties of the parents when the child is 10, 12 years of age and teenager? And then youth. So understand, it's all flexible structure. And we are given the support system, our intelligence to analyze, perceive, foresee, understand, comprehend. Now this child is not 3, 4 years of age. Now this child is 12, 13 years of age. Now this child is 25, 28 years of age. This child is now 30, 40 years of age. We are given the support system for all this. We don't just age. But with reference to animals, it doesn't happen that a cattle is now 12 years of age, therefore it is wiser. Nothing of that kind. The dog is in its prime age and now the dog is in its terminal age. When the dogs are 8, 9 years, most of the dogs die. That's their lifespan. It doesn't mean, oh, that's an old dog. Let's consult the old dog. The dog, small dog doesn't say, let me consult the old dog. So they only grow in age. They are not given the support system behind, whereas we are given support system so that we can make sure in aging, we are expected to be maturing in our age, while we are aging. In most of the cases it doesn't happen. It should happen. It is duty of human being to mature in intelligence with age. So, not only taking rights, giving rights. Not only performing one's duties, but helping others perform their duties. Is also with human being. We have to consider, yes, I am exercising my duty, but also allow others to exercise their duties. I facilitate, I don't hinder, I don't obstruct. So suppose I obstruct in your exercising your duty by you, I obstruct you, it is inhuman on my part. I have to allow you. Yes, if that is your duty, I will facilitate. So I cannot be duty-mindedness. This is my duty, I am going to go. I don't bother about others, whether they are able to exercise their duties or not. Whether are obstructed, impeded, disfacilitated, I won't bother. This is inhuman. This is inhuman. We have to allow. It's not only that we have rights, we have duties, we have responsibilities, we have privileges. We have to give others as well. We have to give others the rights. We have to give others the privileges. If we cannot give privileges, we should share privileges. Because if you don't have, how will you give privilege? But if you have privilege, you can share privilege. Is that right? I myself don't have a car. I cannot afford a car. I can't say I will buy a car for you. But if I have a car, I can make you share my car. So I have a privilege of having a car, so I should be able to share my privilege to you. And for this purpose, the Dharma Shastra, Dharma Samstha is there. As we come to that point, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Dharma Samsthapanartham. Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. Who is the Dharma Samsthapaka? He says, I am Dharma Samsthapak. So I will have to do Dharma Samsthapana. I have to establish the Dharma. So to establish the Dharma, I come time to time. So understand how important is Dharma. Because of Dharma, he has to manifest. If there is depreciation of Dharma, he has to manifest. So that is his responsibility. So understand how important it must be, Dharma must be, if it is so important to Almighty, if it is so important to Purushottama, if it is so important to Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan himself, if it is so important to Bhagwan to protect the Dharma, understand how much it should be important for you and me. So again he uses, this is little linguistic aspect which is not in your syllabus now, but incidentally I am telling you. He says, doesn't say dharma sthapanaya. He says samsthapanaya. That means dharma is already there. Dharma is already there. If the dharma is not there, then there has to be sthapana of the dharma. So that's little Sanskrit language for you. He doesn't say dharma sthapanaya sambhavami. He says dharma samsthapanaya. It has some rahasya. That means dharma is there. He is not going to implant the dharma in society. Dharma is very much there. But to augment, escalate, evolve, he has to do something. That's why he comes. So understand how dharma is important. So for you to have little concrete idea, which perhaps you did not have anything in last 3 sessions of mine, about what dharma is. So dharma is trying to be aware of rights, duties, responsibilities, liabilities. Human beings should be aware of this. You don't expect the dog and cat and tiger to be responsible for so many things, because they will never be irresponsible. We are vulnerable to be irresponsible. Therefore, we are told that we should be having that sense. And the other dimension of it is R-I-T-E, rights. R-I-T-E-S, rights. That is why in our parampara and our legacy, there is a mention of Shodasha Samskars. When a baby is born to parents, they will do certain samskars, perform certain samskars, which the subhumans don't perform. Whereas there are Shodasha Samskars. If you want, you can Google search and try to understand what are 16 samskars, starting from Garbhadhan, very placement of Garbha in the womb of woman. There is a samskar ending with Antyeshti samskara, last rites. So other animals don't have vivaha samskars. We have vivaha samskars. Have you ever got an invitation? He dog, she dog getting wedded. Please grace the occasion. It is not a samskar for them. Whereas sometimes try to have curiosity, what are the samskars in wedding? How many samskars come during wedding? So it is studied with samskars. We don't declare that these two people have become a couple. There are samskars. Because it is not just male-female coming together by something called as wedlock. There are so many things that two families are coming together, two races are coming together. It's enormous turnaround. Usually it is said, oh, only women have turnaround in life and men have no turnaround in life. It is turnaround for whole family. Two families are coming together. So the both mutually in-laws have to put with each other well. They can't say, hey, we are in-laws, they got married, nothing to do with us. Goodbye, after the reception. They can't do that. So understand what is life for human being. This is not the case for animals. They don't have wedlock. They just there is a mating, that's all. There is no wedlock. We have a wedlock. So human life is, understand it, because human being is responsible for so many things. We have responsibilities with regard to subhuman, be that mosquito. We have some responsibility towards mosquitoes, bed bugs. As human beings, we have to preserve the flora and fauna. We know now this awareness has come. We must preserve the flora and fauna. We are not supposed to be killing them because they antagonize us. So today we cannot kill even the cobras and snakes, although they are poisonous. We are not supposed to be killing them. We have some responsibility for them. They don't have any responsibility for mankind. We have all responsibility for them. All the life forms, whether it is botanical life form or whatever other life form, we have some responsibilities towards them. They don't have any responsibility towards us. Now, we don't have responsibility for all the life on the planet, all the things on the planet, but even beyond the planet. So see what the human being has done for ozone layer of the atmosphere. Irreparable loss. The earth is going to live for another 6,000 million years. For next 6,000 million years, it will not be repaired. Who has caused it? Have the birds flying in the space, have they caused it? Who has caused? Who has damaged the atmosphere? Irreparable. Loss has been incurred. Now that's going to stay until end of the earth, which is after 6,500 million years. Human being is capable of all this. Therefore, one of the mystic saints has said, no ferocious animal is as harmful, dangerous as human beings are. What have we done to the atmosphere? What have we done to the even the space outside? Human beings have created lots of garbage in outer space. What right? Who has given the right that we can create a garbage outside our space? But we have done it. So generally we say, oh, cobra, python, ferocious. Lions, tigers, ferocious. We all put them to shame because of our deeds. Human being is capable of destroying all that. They don't think of destroying at all. They cannot destroy, they don't even think to destroy all that. We not only think of, but we destroy. Where we don't have rights, we transgress our domain of rights and do so many things beyond our rights. That's why human being needs to be tamed. We are trying to tame animals. We are trying to tame wild animals. We don't think of human beings to be tamed. Human beings need to be tamed, and that is one of the things that Dharma does. Human being is responsible for all that in our Milky Way. When will this dawn to human consciousness? You know what is Milky Way? It is the galaxy in which we are housed. It is the galaxy in which we are housed. Do you think of any responsibility towards that vast expanse of Akash Ganga, Milky Way? You don't have any responsibility towards even the neighbor. As I said, we are in apartment culture. We do not know who is the neighbor. We don't have any responsibility towards the neighbor. But human being has responsibilities to entire Akash Ganga, our galaxy, and even beyond. Because we are under obligation of even extra-galactic aspects. Extra-galactic aspects. So we are privileged by that. Something remote star, maybe 1 million light years away, we are graced by it. Because of that star, we are getting something. Because of that star, something is not happening here, which should not happen. So we do not know how this universe is constituted and what is the contribution, and the rishis and munis identified them, all those things. We only think the sun is meant for us. And we don't bother about all the countless billions of stars which are in our galaxy, which are outside the galaxy, which are in other galaxies. We think only sun is for us. That is not true. And therefore, we owe to something to them as well, because certain rights have come to us from them, certain privileges have come to us from them. Eschatology will tell you that you are on the planet today, now. You are a planetary being. But we have timeless history. And eschatology tells this, the subject, one of the subjects, eschatology. It says that maybe in your previous life, you were inmate of Mars, Mercury. You spent some hundreds of years or tens of years or hundreds of years or thousands of years on other planets, other systems. So should we not have gratefulness? So maybe we were residents of Mercury, Venus, even the sun. It is possible, according to eschatology, one of the subjects that comes in Adharma, it tells us. That's why it is said that after our death we go to various planes. Shukra, the Krishna Gati, and the Devayan Marga. Pitruyan Marga, Devayan Marga. We go to different planets. Or we stay there for some time. So we have been maintained by those planets and even stars. We can reside even on a star. As a life principle, we can reside even on a star. Temperatures don't matter. That's why Bhagavati Gita says it cannot be burnt. Why this Atma cannot be burnt? What is the need to say it is proof to fire and water and whatever? It cannot be cut, etc. Why? Because it cannot be burnt, it can be on the sun, it can be on stars, where the temperatures are soaring to 40,000-50,000 degrees. So don't think that there is no life there. There is no life of our kind. Our kind of life there is not on moon, our kind of life is not there on sun, and cannot be there elsewhere, it has to be only here. But the life, however, is there. So we have spent some time there. It is not proper that we are ungrateful about where we have lived for some time, and if it is still there. You must have a sense of gratitude if you have spent in a house for 30-40 years of your life, and that house is still there. You must have gratitude. If you don't have your house, you must have gratitude for the location. There might be another building, bungalow that has come up there. That house is no longer there, building is no longer there, but the bhumi, that this bhumi sustained me for 30-40 years. You must have gratefulness for all that. And this consciousness is the one which reforms right-mindedness, duty-mindedness, responsibility-mindedness, etc., etc. So dharma is that which makes you aware of properly your rights, R-I-G-H-T, your duties, your privileges, your responsibilities, and the rights, R-I-T-E, rights that you have to perform. So dharma tries to divulge that. Dharma will make you aware of it. And then you will be able to conduct your life as human beings. Because if you are perfectly adhering to all the set of things, rights, duties, responsibilities, privileges, if you are properly using them, properly handling, managing them, administrating them, then you are a good human being. If you mismanage them, then you mess up with your life and you mess up with your form as human being. You don't remain as human being if you mess up with all this. So dharma gives us guidelines. Dharma also gives you the motivation to be in the path. So dharma is not in your actions. Dharma is in your motivation. So I will end the session today with another definition of dharma. And that dharma says, dharma is in our very consciousness. It is not in our limbs. It is not in our motor organs. Although it is said, Achara Prabhavo Dharmaha, Mahabharat. Anushasana Parva, Achara Prabhavo Dharmaha. Dharmasya Prabhu Achyutaha. That is the cue plate which comes in preamble to Vishnu Sahasranam in Anushasana Parva. Another definition of it, which comes in Mimamsa Darshana, atah dharma jignasa. And what is the second sutra? Chodana lakshano artho dharmaha. Chodana, prochodana, prerana. We must be rightly motivated. We should not be just in right actions. We should not be just in right activities. We should be rightly motivated. Now the Mimamsa Darshan is called Purva Mimamsa Darshan. Why it is called Purva Mimamsa? Because it deals with the Purva Bhag of the Vedas. Mantra Samhita, mantras, Brahmanas, those parts which come in Samhita part and Brahmana part. The Vedas are divided in parts like Samhita, Brahman, Aranyak, Upanishad. And Upanishad is part of Aranyak. Aranya means forest. So when the human beings for final salvation go to forest, that is retire from mundane jungle. We have to retire from, this is a jungle that we are in. We have to get away from mundane jungle and get into natural jungle, and that is why it is called Aranya. In Aranya you don't get shopping malls, you don't get multiplexes, you don't have casinos, not available there. We have to retire from all these ultimately for salvation. We have to get rid of this. And that's why it is called Aranya. And therefore Aranyaka. Wise people spend life in Aranya with some kind of engagement. That engagement is to be in Upanishads. Wholeheartedly. Because you cannot be in Upanishads if you are in Stock Exchange of Mumbai. Being in very BSc, bustling crowd of airport. What are you doing? I am in Upanishads, contemplating on Upanishads. Not done, cannot happen. You have to get rid from there. You have to get away from bustle of the airport, bustle of the railway station. You can't be at CST. What are you sitting on a bench? What are I am contemplating on Upanishadic life, Upanishadic precept. And all around you get the pani puri smell, bhel puri smell, vendors going here and there, ice cream wala, this wala, cold drink wala. How many distractions are there? That is why Aranyaka. Anyway, so Purva Mima deals with earlier part of Vedas, which is rituals. Now you may wonder why rituals. There is certain level of consciousness when the rituals are needed. You and me can do away with rituals. During our lifetime, we will not perhaps reach. We don't need rituals. But rituals are needed. Sometimes, for some people, somewhere. If the rituals are not available, they do the internal ritual. That is why we do yoga. In yoga, you can perform all the rituals internally. Yajnanam japa yajno asmi, Bhagavad Gita. Amongst all yajnas, because you immediately think of yajna, fire, consecration, consecrating fire, and then oblations in the fire. That's yajna, havana, yajna. But why does he say, yajnanam japa yajno asmi? Where is the fire altar in japa yajna? Do you have burn a fire, have an altar, and have some samidas put in it, and then do japa? It's an internal yajna. So that's the Adharma which tells you yajna is also internalized. But without yajna, you can't evolve. So there is the Adhyatmic dimension to yajnas, which is major signature condition of the Vedas. Vedic Dharma means ritual, yajna, home, havan. This is signature condition of Vedic Dharma, but it also has made a provision for Adhyatmic version of it. So they investigate into that. So Vedas are to be studied. For Purva Mimamsa, Samhitas are studied. Brahmanas such as Shatapada Brahman, Gopada Brahmana, Taittiriya Brahmana, Tandya Brahman, there are so many Brahmana Granthas which tell about how a ritual has to be taking place. So the Vedic study is very important. With the Vedic studies, naturally there will be a cultured motivation. You send your child to a good school. Why? You want the child to imbibe good culture. You don't tell your child, child every morning get up and go to casino and go do whatever you want, come back, I will pick you up at 5 o'clock. Why? Because the child will not inculcate values. You want to send the child somewhere which will inculcate value. So if it inculcates value, its motivations are improved. If the motivations are improved, then activities are improved. So chodana lakshano arthaha. Artha means prayojan, not meaning. So out of chodana, prerana, motivation, you develop a prayojanam of life. If you have imbibed good values, you will have heightened purpose in your life. If you have not imbibed good values, you will not have heightened purpose in your life. So, heightened purpose in life because of your motivation is dharma. And for dharma, that's why they had traditional academics. This morning I said, other day I said in the class, studying 4 Vedas, Vedangas, Upavedas, Upavedangas, the whole Vedic academics. So that improves the motivation of human being to be human being. And that is why the prerana, the chodana, the motivation is important, and that is dharma. When you are rightly motivated because of your study of the traditional academics. So in classical times, we did not have arts college, science college, commerce college, law college. where you take professional courses and you can become ATM machine, you can earn monies, money earning machine. That's why education is given to us. Education is not given to us for us to become cultured, but earnable. That's why education is given today by parents to their children. Not even 0.00001% parents send their children to Veda Pathshala. Veda Pathshala जाऊन तो काय करू शकणार आहे? फार तर भटजी होईल आणि काय कमवणार आहे? त्यापेक्षा त्याला शाळा, college, where he will be able to earn good money, we send our children there. But it was not available in classical time. There were no law colleges, medical colleges, professional colleges, arts colleges, science colleges, such academies, professional academies, where it is lucrative. Today's education is all lucrative. You can earn money, better money. That time it was not the case. And therefore the education was only to lift the mankind, take the mankind on a higher rung. And therefore they were given motivation, chodana. Because of their studies they got better motivated to be better human beings. And that heightening of the motivation is dharma. Therefore, parents should rightly motivate the children. Not for them to earn good salaries, get a lucrative job, good profession, enriching profession, or affluency, giving name, fame, money, recognition. This is what the parents want to do there for their children. That they should get name, fame, money, recognition. That is Purushartha of our times. That was not the Purushartha then. Dharma was a Purushartha. So, rights, duties, responsibilities, liabilities, and RITE rights. संस्कारी करणम, संस्कृती करणम. माणूस सुसंस्कृत कसा होईल? आपण त्याला फक्त सुशिक्षित करतो, सुसंस्कृत करत नाही. त्याला सुसंस्कृत करायला पाहिजे. Then he adds the value to society. And therefore that is dharma. Now point is, Guruji traced this dharma. That's why I commenced with Yoganga Anushtanat. It is dharma sadhana. Today it has become fitness sadhana. Keep fit, keep trim, keep fit. That's why we do yoga. So, we'll have to now, in the next session, try to identify how you are a trainee in the field of dharma if you are in yoga. Therefore, Guruji said when he practiced, he was a philosopher. That means he was adhering to dharma. Adhering to dharma is a life of philosopher. Not just having a knowledge about realities, to live in realities, to bring realities into life is philosopher's life. Otherwise, philosophy has only professors. Philosophers only have lecturers, talkers. They can talk. So how yoga has the material for you to really carry out your own dharmic academy. Yoga can take you into dharmic academy. You can learn it within. Because dharma is within us. That is why dharmendriya, it is one of the organs that we have within us. Now that we will try to explore how yoga can be a dharma and not just a practice, not a fitness regimen. Not wellness regimen, well-being regimen, much more beyond that. So yoga actually teaches you dharma. And when you are taught dharma, there is a chance that you will practice dharma. It will motivate you to be in dharma. If you are motivated to be in dharma, you will be in dharma more easily. So it changes your motivations in very life. That is why it is dharma sadhana. Anyway, enough for the day. Million thanks for your patience. Namaskar all of you.